the girl a-running in a group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod at large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod. She's my hot rod.
928 car guys, if you need to weigh in on me, if you think I'm goofy, you can tell me, or you can try. I can maybe prove I'm not. We'll see. But I got to tell you what's happening here. Some automakers, some U.S. automakers are at last recalling over almost 2 million vehicles for what else? Takata, the killer airbags. While Toyota and Honda have been proactive when it comes to Takata's killer airbags. Think of this. Subaru, Tesla, BMW, Volkswagen, Daimler, Mercedes-Benz, and Ferrari are just now joining the movement as it has started to rear its ugly head again. More injuries are coming up, more things are happening, and they're out there. People are, for the longest time, Ford finally, this last year, started to step it up. FCA, Chrysler, they're, as usual, dragging their feet because it's expensive. You know why it's expensive? Because Takata's gone. As a corporation, Takata's gone. They filed bankruptcy and got the heck out of town. Some of those guys over in Japan are probably falling on a sword. I don't know. And they should have, for the people they killed, or the people they've injured, or the people we don't know if they killed, okay? That's the problem. We're going to get into that in a minute. But these people, these manufacturers, for the longest time have said, well, we don't know if we had those airbags or not in our... You got them in your cars and you know it. And it's just a sham. And it's a ruse on the people. And I don't care about... I care about other countries, don't get me wrong. But I care about the automotive industry in the United States. And I care about U.S. citizens driving these cars. I mean, my friends, your friends, our neighbors. And these cars are potentially killers. And here's why. I'll explain this real simple. Takata airbags are not the problem. It's the Takata airbag igniter. That's a little dude, I don't know about the size of my fist, made in, well, all over the place. There's one plant is in Mexico. And it turns out the ones that come out of Mexico didn't have a lot of regulation. And those igniters are filled with ammonium nitrate. Ammonium nitrate is what makes your airbag go poof. If it goes poof. If they don't put enough ammonium nitrate in, it goes poof. If they put the right amount in, it goes poof and saves your life. If they put a little too much in, or if they put way too much in, which they did on several, at least over 400 of them, they turn into a grenade. They explode the whole airbag, the dash parts that it's in. Shrapnel flies throughout the car, or throughout the cockpit of the car, shrapnel. So you and the people in the car are all subject to like having a grenade go off in your dashboard. And that's why it has killed, the NHTSA confirms it has killed 23 people and wounded over 300. But that, my friends, the NHTSA, those stats, is a joke. And I'll tell you why. There's 19 car makers that have Takata airbags in them. 19 of them. They were installed from 2002 to 2015. That's 13 years. Do the math. I did real fast. How was that? 13 years of killer airbags possible, or non-working airbags. Now, in those 13 years, how many did we not know that it was Takata airbag that either killed the people in the car or didn't save the people in the car? We don't know that for a fact because nobody knew anything about this Takata airbag debacle. Nobody was talking about it. Takata was covering it up, okay? I got to tell you, it was November 18th of 2014 when the NHTSA finally called for a national recall of Takata airbags. And that didn't work because half of them are bailing out. And the reason they didn't get proactive with it is because now they got to pay for it. Like I told you, Takata went bye-bye. So now the car makers themselves have to pony up for new igniters and the labor to install them in your cars to either make sure your airbag works or your airbag is safe. How does a safety device kill you? It's just not right. People were paralyzed. I mean, from fender benders. The airbag goes off and there's too much ammonium nitrate in it. Boom. You got a mess on your hands. It's just terrible. It's just wrong. Now, 2014, so from 2002 to 2014, when the NHTSA got wind of this, and it was late in 2014, may as well have been 15, it's November, how many accidents, how many people were murdered, how many people were killed, maimed, hurt, paralyzed from a grenade, or let's call it a Takata airbag, going off in their car? And nobody, you know what, in the manufacturer, they say Takata. I'll give you a story here. November 7th, 2014. The New York Times reported Takata was aware of the dangerous airbags years before they filed papers with federal regulators. They filed papers with federal regulators in 2014, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, here comes the NHTSA. Oh yeah, we're gonna call for a national recall. People are already dead that we don't even know about. We don't know. From 2002 to 2014, November, whenever they decided that they were going to come clean, nobody knows. But they knew about it way before that. I did a story 2 years ago about a whistleblower that worked for Takata that mysteriously disappeared. Okay? But he was a whistleblower, and he told some people about it in 2014. And that's when everybody started going up in arms. Well, then Takata couldn't hide it anymore. And the people that own the car companies, I don't know that they knew anything or not. I would never accuse anybody of that. I don't think our people here that build these cars, or the car plants in America, and be them imports or be them American cars, I don't think that the actual manufacturer knew that they were putting in defective airbags. And when I say defective, I mean either they didn't save anybody or they killed them. And that went on for a good 13 years before anybody did anything. And now here we are trying to recall them. And 3 years later, Subaru, Tesla, BMW, Volkswagen, Daimler, Mercedes-Benz, and Ferrari are just now starting to recall those. How many of those cars were crashed and people died in them? And we don't know if it was the airbag or it was the crash. Did the airbag fail and not save them? Did the airbag explode? Nobody knows. That's the problem. Ford finally got on the bandwagon when last year 2 people were killed in Ford Rangers. 2005 and 2006 Ford Rangers, when their airbags killed them. 10 years ago, if they'd have gotten a wreck and got killed, nobody would have known it was the airbags. But now they look for it. Now they know those airbags are killers, or can be. So Ford is all over the place. Ford's they're giving money to their dealers. Anybody, they're giving them a $1,000 bonus if they can find a Ranger and fix that airbag before any more liability comes. Because again, the word liability, the government and all the national courts have ruled that Takata is gone. They have no culpability in this. The manufacturers have to make their cars safe. They have to. And if your car is involved, you can go on the NHTSA website. They got really gung ho after they found out that they messed up and didn't. This all should have been done. This plain and simple. This should have been handled way back. These cars are from 2002 to 2015. I'll give you another story that I did. And I did it about a year ago. In Mexico, they have a plant where apparently there's not a lot of rules and no OSHA or whatever they call it. And I'm not sure. That's my opinion right there. But these airbags, where they came from there, some of them had enough, some of them didn't have any, some of them had way too much. Now, a truck coming across the border, I believe it was in El Paso, I'm not sure. I don't remember now. I should have gone back and read my story again. It was a semi-truck. Very hot, humid day. Very hot, humid day. And there was airbag igniters. It was loaded with igniters, a big semi full of them, going up here to the Takata airbag plant and then off to the assembly plants across the country. And it exploded because of the heat and humidity inside there. One of the bags that was way overloaded exploded and set the whole semi-trailer. Exploded. Just set it off. And a woman walking down the street was killed by shrapnel. That's one of the 23 deaths by Takata. We'll talk to the man. Hey, you're on with the car guy. What's up?
Hey, this is the old guy over in LaPorte, 98.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. They helped me with a rendezvous a couple of times. We kept it going. My boy totaled it out.
Oh, no. Everybody okay?
Yeah. He didn't get hurt at all. But I got two questions. One is, how soon do you think it will be that we can rent self-driving cars?
You know, it's not that far away.
I don't know.
Toyota's got a deal with, they're talking in 2020, Toyota's going to have self-driving fleet. That's what they claim anyway.
Oh.
Everybody's jumping up and down on the bandwagon, pal, so you don't know. It could happen anytime.
I hope so. At my age, I'm not going to buy another car. It might be a blessing in a way, the way I drive now, almost 90. I got one other question.
Yeah, man.
Michigan City, Indiana, 421, as you go up to the beach. They got that drawbridge there. They open and close it for the sailboats.
Yeah.
It's 87 years old, same age as me. They're having a lot of trouble with it. They can't get it open and closed. And they're going to have to spend millions of dollars on it. You've been around the world. You got a great brain, I know, about cars and highways and that. What do you think they ought to do?
Well, they have to rebuild it.
Over?
They have to rebuild it. They either have to rebuild it from scratch or they got to fix it. I don't know if it's fixable anymore. Being that old, maybe you can't get parts for it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they have trouble getting parts.
I know. Well,
you got to manufacture them.
You say you're 87 years old. When you go to the doctor, where does he get those parts?
Don't go to the doctor.
I don't blame you. I don't either.
I ain't been to the doctor in 20 years.
Good for you. It's the practice of medicine.
I go every 20 years to make sure he's still alive.
Oh, I understand. Well, I'll tell you what. I hope they rebuild it. I hope they make it fair because they got to have the sailboats. I mean, what the heck? That's part of Lake Michigan.
Boy,
how else would they get there?
It's pretty up there.
Yeah,
it's pretty up there when the boats come through and that. Well, I'm in good health. I thank God for it, and I'll let you go. I'll listen on the radio.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
Bless you, boy.
Calling. I'll tell you what, he's been calling pretty regularly. He's a good old guy. All I'm going to tell you is, and this is my opinion, Big George the Carguy, nobody else's, has nothing to do with the radio stations. I think that's a disclaimer of some sort, isn't it, T-Rex? All I'm telling you is, if it was me, and I had a real good mechanic friend, I would take that airbag out, and I would put it in a box in the garage, and I would wait until they had the parts to fix it. I would not have it in my car, because you just don't know. You don't. I would rather have a gaping hole in my dash where the airbag panel was than to have my loved ones in that car. And there's airbags. Remember, there's airbags on the side curtain or on the side. They're everywhere. Passenger, driver. These airbags aren't right. They got to get them fixed. And you got to get that handled. It's your loved ones' lives you're talking about. You're playing with people's lives. All right? All right. Enough said. Enough on Takata. I get tired of it anyway. I'm not going to talk about Takata at all till next week, I promise. Maybe till next week. I don't know. I got some stuff from around the car world here we got to talk about. Last week, a federal judge in New Jersey ruled to allow a class action lawsuit accusing Mercedes-Benz and Robert Bosch Corp. To proceed through that legal system. The suit filed by owners is based on all Blue Tech diesel vehicles losing their value for owners because of the defeat device that they installed in the powertrain control computer. Several earlier court cases against Volkswagen and Bosch have resulted in large settlements. This should be a cakewalk for these guys. They should kill them. And they should. They're thinking that car's not worth anything anymore. Can you imagine? Huh. And Bosch has got money, trust me. So does Volkswagen. You know, some bedfellows, we always talk about odd bedfellows, but some of them are on the outs. A long cooperation between MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Ford Motor Company has hit some soft, thin ice. 3 MIT professors in its very popular, I'm telling you what, 3 MIT professors are suing Ford for using technology in their very popular F-150 pickup that they claim Ford stole from them. Now, MIT and Ford have been working together on technology, but these professors, they claim that their dual-port direct ignition technology was added to Ford's EcoBoost pickup truck engine without their knowledge, without their, they're not getting anything for it. Okay, their compensation, let's put it that way. The professors say Ford is selling 2 trucks every minute as a result of their handiwork, and they want $1,000 per truck in royalties from this dual port direct ignition. Hello. Yow. You're talking about a couple things here that are really cool. Mazda and Toyota bypassed North Carolina. North Carolina threw a $1.6 billion incentive package at them because they're going to build a plant. They're going to build a big old plant. And it was $1.6 billion in incentives. But now South Carolina is moving on because the Mazda Toyota plant has opted to go to a site in Huntsville, Alabama, 14 miles from where Toyota has an engine plant. Well, this sounds right to me. I mean, it makes sense. Alabama's incentive package, of course, was only about $700 million, about half of what they were doing. But Toyota has a long-standing government relations in Alabama, and Huntsville's proximity to a supply base that serves Toyota's Corolla assembly plant in Tupelo, Mississippi. They got plants all over this country. I'm telling you, they're putting people to work. They're building a new one now in Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama is going to be like Detroit before you know it. They're so hot.